Welcome to Doom Scroll Patrol, the show where we doom scroll so you don't have to. Today we are looking at some heavy stuff. We are talking about human safaris. We're talking about the ongoing horrible things happening in Sudan. Trigger warning, we're talking about Epstein things, so you know what that's about. So if you don't want to, just don't, maybe. And we're also going to lighten things up by talking about climate change. I'm Aaron Heggie. I can't even fucking say my name. I'm Aaron Heggie McKay.
I'm Harold Moss.
I'm Hannah Snape.
And I'm Sam Perez.
Boy, you definitely should listen to this.
Hell yeah.
Here we go again.
Are there any Alex Jones that aren't right-leaning? I
think
Wasn't that Hassan is kind of the closest?
Hassan Piker?
Hassan Piker is the closest.
He's not... He's
not
like
a
level-headed, though. Yeah, we need like a crazy person.
No, yeah, I know. But I mean, conspiracy tends towards the right.
I was about to say,
we don't need a left-wing Joe Rogan. We need a left-wing Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam? New life goal unlocked.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be the left wing.
You could be the left-wing Alex Jones. Except for all the conspiracies should be true.
Yeah, they're all, because it is the rich.
It is the right.
Which actually, I was like, we can start with this. I just read it this morning. I've been reading it just to make sure it's like not super bullshit. Because at first it came out in the New York Post, but it was basically how they're finding back during the Bosnian War in the 90s, there were these human safaris where rich people were paying up to $90,000 to go shoot, like snipe. Was it the Bosnians?
Bosnians, yeah.
Yeah, Bosnians. So
they would go and join the Serbian army, and there were reports of like people that weren't in right uniform. It was known at the time. It was known at the time, and no one did anything about it because they were in Italy. It was known, the Italian intelligence. That was Berlusconi's time. Their kind of smarter version of Trump. And
Bunga party guy.
Yeah, and the guy who's like the prosecutor talking about it, he was telling the Italian news, he's like, yeah, this exposes a part of society that hides its truths under the carpet, because we're talking about wealthy people with reputations, entrepreneurs who during the siege of Sarajevo paid to be able to kill defenseless civilians.
Yep.
So it's
you could pay more to kill children.
Yeah, so it's like,
wait, actually?
Yeah, it's like fucked up, man. And like, it's crazy because like joking about the left wing Alex Jones, it's like, this is what it would be, but like, it's all real. Like this is all, the rich are really doing
really
this.
rich are. Well, I mean, this is what we,
This is going to be a part of this. Like, how is this only coming out now?
Because Berlusconi's intelligence services
just telling people?
Yeah. Well, I mean, how is it that the Epstein files still aren't out?
I mean, that's going to be the theme of the day, isn't it?
That's going to be the theme of the day.
How is this only coming out now?
Because they're rich and they're powerful.
That's what he said. He goes, it was the rich and powerful who were able to just sweep it under the rug. Like, because they can pay off, like get people to not talk about it.
And this is the whole thing about conspiracy theories, is that they weave an overly complex web to trap people in rabbit holes, because the real shit is generally just right out there and to be seen, right? So you get into they're taking adrenochrome from babies, and doing this stuff that's kind of sci-fi and weird to get people all obsessed about it. And what was the temperature of the steel beam melting point on Tower 2 on 9/11, instead of like everything we know about 9/11, which is they went and killed 1 million Iraqi people based on a lie, because Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11, and our allies, so-called allies, did, and it was blowback from everything we did. So you get people tied up in these tangled threads so that they actual conspiracies, like rich people going on human safari, like rich people paying to rape children.
Who are the rich people? Are these the same people shooting like human safari people as they are in the Jeffrey? Is this like a circle on the Venn diagram?
It's more like how the rich, operate with impunity. And as we know, sociopathy increases with your wealth. I think I mentioned this earlier. knew somebody who was involved in kind of wealth management stuff tangentially. They said somewhere around $200 or $300 million. No, I didn't know them. This is a quote from someone I heard. Sorry, memory's funny. Somewhere around $200-300 million.
After I got $200 million, I became a psychopath.
After $200 or $300 million, something changes. Like they said, there's kind of a point where people really start to become sociopaths, and then you've got this empty void, which we see from all of the wealthy, and they want to feel something. Maybe if I killed people. You think Elon Musk hasn't done something like some fucked up human safari?
No, he's a very moral billionaire.
He's a very moral.
He's the first.
He's the very model of a very moral billionaire.
I am the very model of a modern moral billionaire.
Exactly.
If they had like a healthy outlet, like a art class or something,
blowing up rockets.
I feel like this is why we gotta invent the holodeck. So we can just put
all
people,
the billionaires in.
Yeah, so they don't actually think they're. This is why the simulation theory, it's a thing that we need to work towards. It's not a real thing, but we need to trap billionaires in this, fucking make them feel great about themselves all of the time. So you can have holograms just stroking their ego. They can kill as many children as they want. Well, on human safari.
Going back to what you were saying, Aaron. So who was doing it? They still haven't released names. But it was basically wealthy foreigners, including some from the United States and Russia, and then
France, Germany.
In 2007, a former U.S. Marine, John Jordan, testified to the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia that he personally witnessed tourist shooters who came to Sarajevo, and I think he said it was clearly obvious that the person being led by men who were familiar with the ground was completely unfamiliar with the ground. And this manner of dress and the weapons they carried led me to believe they were the tourist shooters. So it's this. So
that was 2007. You said.
Yeah. So that's
almost 20 years ago. This is already on the books.
Yeah. So this Marine, he went to Yugoslavia to say hey guys, I'm most likely positive tourist shooters in this country, and everyone's cool. And then see ya. And then no one really talked about it. So yeah, it sounds like it's rich people.
And it was easy to do in because there were about, the sniping that was taking place during that war were Serbs sniping Bosnians. And they're just, it's much like what goes on in Gaza, and continues to go on despite the bullshit idea of a ceasefire, which is people just needing to cross the road to get to their food, to their whatever, to water, just sniping people. And they killed about 10,000 people that way in Yugoslavia. And it's exactly what's going on in Gaza, where they just, a lot of the children the bodies of the children have bullets in their head or in their spine, clearly just intentionally sniped. So this is when you're doing genocide, it's one of your tools in the toolkit. Now, Israel, of course, if you want to be a tourist, people just join the fucking IDF and they get to go over and kill as many people as they want and get congratulated for it. So, so that's going on in Israel right now. You just have to, go join the IDF and you get to kill as many people as you want. And a lot of those people are coming back to Brooklyn and whatnot, and that's going to be awesome for America as well.
Wow. This is really dark.
All right, Hannah, take it away with some more.
Everyone listening is talk about Epstein. Why are they not talking about Epstein?
I mean, we could just do
Sedan. Why do I care about Sedan? I have a coupe. I have an SUV. Get to the Epstein.
Yeah, true. But I mean, just quickly.
No, you're right. You're right. It's not good in Sudan.
There's more genocide happening over there. There's been lots of stuff online, like satellite images and things. You just see piles of bodies and blood-soaked fields. Yeah. And there was one I saw the other day where it was I might have saved a clip. I don't know if I should even play it, but it was 30, 40 huge trucks hauling dump loads of bodies.
No, let's not.
Yeah, but so it's.
Do you want to give some background on this?
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, so the information I have here was from a couple weeks ago before the newest developments, but it's still like it gives an overview of the conflict that's been happening. So the RSF, which is the Rapid Support Forces, and the SAF, the Sudanese Armed Forces, started conflict in April 2023. And I don't know if I never saw anything about this ever. Like I remember back like years ago in 2019, there was a little bit of media coverage, but otherwise it's like no one ever talks about it. The RSF and their allied militias have carried out widespread deliberate killings of civilians, many ethically targeted. The RSF has engaged in widespread sexual violence, notably gang rape and pillage. They also destroyed, often burning, towns and villages and massively looted aid. On the other side, the SAF have unlawfully killed civilians. They've repeatedly and deliberately obstructed humanitarian aid from reaching those who need it. The SAF have also carried out airstrikes targeting civilian infrastructure, including hospitals. So both sides have committed some gnarly atrocities. But the stuff, the actual genocide, I mean, it's been a genocide, but it's very obvious now after seeing all the images come out. But all the RSF is just going hard, and there's lots of death and rape and just horrible stories coming out. And it's just, yeah, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up because it is one of those things where it's so just undercovered.
Yeah.
Like people don't even know. Like, could you put like most people like point to Sudan on a map?
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just maybe part of the American education system. But yeah, not a lot of people are talking about this, and it's one of those things that like I remember like years ago, like George Clooney would be like, "We need to talk about Darfur," just that whole region, and people were just like, "Well, it's kind of fucked up there. I don't want to think about it or whatever."
Yeah.
But thank you for bringing our attention to it.
Yeah, everything is Oh, okay, apparently yeah, it's officially declared a genocide now.
Yeah.
Is that new or is that
it's probably oh no, this is old. This is from January. It's been a genocide for a long time.
Even better. Jesus Christ.
Oh, great. Okay, so yeah, don't recommend looking up images.
No. And the genocide in Gaza that, there's something like I was just seeing like 160 buildings have been bombed since the ceasefire started. That was air quotes.
Yeah, they recently struck the biggest hospital in all of the Gaza Strip.
There was no ceasefire. There was no ceasefire. It was just a complete lie to give Israel cover, and they've killed all the journalists covering Gaza, so they can pretend there is, because there's no one left to take pictures and report on it. It's a very effective method. The only upside is that I think Israel has maybe permanently lost its propaganda war globally, because it's just too many people have seen too much. And definitely the Democratic Party here, it's becoming rightfully, as it long should have been, poisoned to take AIPAC, the Israel lobby's money. And they're trying to hide it now. They're trying to hide that it's coming from AIPAC, because there's a great thing if you know AIPAC Tracker, who's been doing incredible work and just documenting through OpenSecrets.org's information who's receiving AIPAC money. Now AIPAC's trying to there's a name for it. When you hide your contributions and have them go through individuals in order to try and obfuscate the source of the funding. But I think it's getting to be disqualifying in the Democratic Party to be taking AIPAC money, which is, considering all the money that Israel couldn't have carried out that genocide without American paying for all the bombs and et cetera. That's actually probably one of the most significant long-term impacts is if the U.S. stops funding. Just Israel can't be Israel without billions of dollars every year from the United States, giving it the bombs and the bullets and the weaponry to keep apartheid rolling. So, That's the silver lining of hundreds of thousands of unnecessarily dead Palestinians.
This is really fun, you guys.
Doesn't seem like it.
Speaking of Israel's involvement in the United States security apparatus, Jeffrey Epstein.
There we go.
Now
Look,
it's
I
gonna
mean,
get
Would that be our
funny.
secret word, like on the old Pee Wee show?
Yeah.
I'll scream anytime someone says Epstein.
Today's word of the day is Epstein. I just want my couch to have eyes and scream. It's fun.
Just don't let JD Vance near it.
Oh yeah, he'd be like,
Where does that come
handsome?
It would be one couch that could actually report on his assault.
What, Hannah?
And
Where
bite
does that
back.
come from?
Oh, you've not heard that JD Vance is a couch fucker?
No.
This is
So-
I heard
widely
you
known.
say it.
This is widely known.
Yeah, it was.
It became a
came from-
meme. It's just
'Cause,
some
like,
guy was. I think it's just some guy was just like, this guy looks
No,
like
it
he
was
fucks
something-
couches.
No, it was.
Oh,
He was
that's
saying because he made like a fake chapter in JD Vance's book Hillbilly Elegies. Like, guys, did you not read the chapter where he like fucks the couch when he's like whatever age? And like it was obviously like he's making shit up, but then like it just one of those things where it just wildfire and
Its truth goes beyond fact.
So anyways,
Back to Epstein.
yeah, back to our old pal Epstein.
So, more than 20,000 pages of documents from Epstein's estate were published yesterday. One email from Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell, sent in 2011, claims that Trump spent hours at Epstein's house with a person whose name has been redacted. Epstein wrote, "I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Victim name, spent hours at my house with him." Another time, Epstein's talking to a reporter over email, and he says, "Would you like to see photos of Donald and girls in bikinis in my kitchen?" Although the photos were never sent. In a text message chain from December 2018, an unidentified person wrote to Epstein, "It will all blow over. They're really just trying to take down Trump and doing whatever they can to do that." Epstein replied, "Yes, thanks. It's wild because I'm the one able to take him down." Not ominous at all. So in response, the White House has said these prove literally nothing and called it a distraction from the Democrats' failures. I suppose the failures are just like how they caved on the
Remember,
government
Ghislaine
shutdown.
Maxwell, these emails prove, first of all, when they question, am I saying that right?
Ghislaine.
It's
Ghislaine.
Ghislaine.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Ghislaine.
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 Okay, thank you.
Pretty sure it's Ghislaine.
Ghislaine.
No, that's where you have to turn off on the highway to get to Jeffrey Epstein's. Yeah, you turn on Jizz Lane and then you go down Epstein Drive.
So when they questioned her, his accomplice, also a direct rapist as well as a literal groomer, which is what the right's supposed to be so afraid of, for him, and recruiter for Epstein's rape ring, they had these emails. And these emails directly contradict her testimony. She lied during the testimony that they got from her. And then after that testimony, in which she said Trump is a saint, the best human being ever, and never did anything untoward towards anyone, she is now in the most luxury version of a U.S. prison, where she's
Club Fed, I think they call it.
yeah, she's teaching yoga classes and so forth, and having known some folks and who've been in prison. Most U.S. prisons are not like that. They're terrifying, horrible places. She's in that, and she's looking towards a commutation. But they had the evidence that said that what she was saying during that testimony was a lie while they were were carrying out the interview. Like, they knew, so I mean, just every day the cover up. And now that they've actually reopened the government and we're now should have enough for the discharge petition that would release the entire set of files. The other thing that came out last week is because they're idiots also, right? This is one of the things about the Trump administration. When they got all the files in, They went across 4 departments. They had hundreds of agents. They put it on unsecured servers, had everybody looking at this stuff. And apparently it was so horrible that like agents were just about breaking down in tears and walking away and needing to gather themselves because of the horrific imagery they were seeing, assumedly of young women being raped, right? That was what a lot of this is in videos and all the compromise and the blackmail that he had. And what they're saying is lots of contacts inside the FBI. So lots of people have seen the files, and it's going to make it very hard for them to completely cover it up because they broke all professional standards, even how you handle this stuff. Is that what has been talked about with Trump? It's so much worse. This is what people who've actually seen the files. The Trump with topless girl photos that Wolf was talking about, the actual what's in there is so much worse. This is what is coming from like Republican contacts in the FBI who've seen the files, that what's in there about Trump is so much worse. And this is why Trump is now trying to meet with Republicans like Boebert and others in the Oval Office, bring them in to bring a pressure campaign to try and stop the release. Because apparently this may even be too much Trump, who can do effing anything and seem to get away with it. This may be the bridge too far.
Do you know if all the agents that seen it, do you think they had to they can't talk about it? Because I feel like one of them's got to leak something or break something.
Well, they are. That's where these people, they're talking to people.
Is that where they're okay.
talking to people, but they're not leaking.
There's a difference between talking like on background anonymously, and then there's another like actually leaking evidence, which I think could maybe fuck up the criminal case.
The criminal case, yeah.
So that means that you can't get a prosecution. The whole thing has to be thrown out. If you're going by the law, and the FBI are supposed to follow the law,
which they clearly are not at this point.
Look, I'm just saying, you want the FBI to follow the law, but when they're not, when other people are not following the law, that's tough.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, let's go to today's rage clip.
But I will say the latest on that is even Mace, who's a nut and loves Trump, Representative Mace. She was one of the people that Trump was pressuring. She's one of the crazy clown car wing of the Republicans. She's not taking her name off of it. Boebert, apparently it backfired when they tried to pressure her too. There are some of these women who I think have
Boebert or Boebert?
I think Boebert. I can't.
Oh,
anyways,
Stephen Boebert.
Yeah.
Boebert.
I can't watch television news anymore, so I just read stuff, so I get everybody's name wrong.
No, that's fine.
Sue me.
You read PragerU?
I think just ChatGPT.
That's right.
I've hallucinated a whole lot.
I call it PragerU too, and I keep getting corrected.
But it does seem like there are some. First of all, now the Republicans are hearing that it's worse than anybody imagined. It's really horrible. I think people are now starting to say, okay, we've got to get ahead of this, right?
Which brings us to Megyn Kelly.
Yeah, we're gonna listen to this.
Rage clip. So this is a great let's get out ahead of this thing, but I gotta say, backfires so spectacularly. So this is. I can't fucking believe that these were things that were said on Sirius XM. But listen to former Fox News Megyn Kelly say, yo, it's not as bad as I thought it was. She's saying, well, actually.
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds. But he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby. And that is what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it kiddie porn. Now they call it child sexual abuse material, on his computer that for the first time I thought, oh, no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest. I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters anymore. Yeah, so I don't know what's true about him, but we have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10. I was under 14 when I first came within his purview. Look, you can say that's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's not.
I think there is a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. You know, it's just whatever. It's sick. Every time we start talking about Epstein, it makes your skin crawl. Right? The whole thing is just disgusting.
Totally.
I don't think there's that much of a difference. What?
Guys, it's okay if they're barely legal at 15, which they're not legal.
And if
they look legal, 12. It's fine.
Well, but he was like
Megyn Kelly going out there being like, well, if there's grass on the field.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God. That is some of the right wing cope now. Like, if they can get pregnant, they're not a child. Like, that was one of the comments I saw going around. That's the level of defense we're getting to.
There's people on this earth that can get pregnant at like age 7.
Yeah. But this is the level of defense that we're getting to.
That's...
And it doesn't excuse the fact that they were fucking pimped out. Like the whole sex trafficking thing should be bad enough on its own, you would think. And yet they're like excusing sort of like the outer layers of this onion and being like, well, actually, for fuck's sake, Megyn Kelly.
You can't actually pedophilia.
No, you can't actually rape, pedophilia, trafficking. Nope, none of that can you actually.
I can't. I mean, I can believe it because these people are ghouls, but like the fact like this is her defense is like, well, you know, they were fast young girls. Like they kind of looked.
What is the point?
Like
why does she
to victim blame? It's to victim blame.
Yeah. So it's like this 15-year-old girl. It's her fault because she looked too old, which is like something you hear about all the time. Like you hear that. Like when I worked with child, like I used to work with what's it called, child protection services, and you'd hear this excuse all the time. Like, well, she looks older, she acts older. You know, they do this, they do that, and it's like, no, dude, she's 15. You sick fuck. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't care if she's smoking cigarettes and like listening to Steely Dan. Like, doesn't matter. She's still a kid.
I was doing.
Yeah, and you're still a child if you're doing that. Like, that's not an excuse for someone to rape you.
If you have to drive her to school in the morning,
right,
and she has to study for an exam instead of fucking whatever she's doing with you.
Yeah, if she can't even buy her own fucking cigarettes, I'm sorry, man. Like, god damn it. No, this is rage. This is rage clip. I'm enraged.
Certified rage clip.
Yeah.
Oh man. I like, if you have a SiriusXM subscription, if you're listening to this, send them an email and ask if you think 15-year-olds should be considered legal, because that's apparently what Megyn Kelly thinks.
Maybe she should stop.
So COP30, that's Conference of the Parties it's the annual climate change conference by the UN. It's where countries come together to not solve climate change. But they try. Oh boy, do they try. The United States is not there this year.
Which is actually helpful.
In some ways, yeah, you think that's a bad thing, but they've been historically very obstructionist. So you can actually get
with Trump, it's worse, yeah.
And with Trump, it would be even worse. Like, it's like, you know, if they're not even going to try, then don't come. It's like, that's fine. The rest of the world, because the United States, I know it's weird for Americans to hear this, but they are not the world. The United States is not the world, and the rest of the world,
and are increasingly less at the center of the world.
Yeah, exactly. So this is just one of those places where that's happening. So it's happening in Belém, Brazil, which just a couple of days ago was actually overrun with protesters, many in traditional indigenous dress. A security guard said he was hit in the head by a drum thrown by a protester, according to Reuters, which I thought was kind of funny. So an indigenous, I'm just reading the story here. An indigenous leader from the Tupinamba community told Reuters, we can't eat money, and that they were upset by the development happening in the rainforest. We want our lands free from agribusiness, oil exploration, illegal miners, and illegal loggers, he said. And
which, of course, would also help ensure survival for every single one of us.
Yeah.
Like, these are pretty good demands because there's a reason they call the Amazon the lungs of the world. A lot of our oxygen, a lot of our CO2 sequestration, and all of this agribusiness and mining is destroying that for all. So
it's the lungs of the world.
Indigenous people, so get all of us.
It's the lungs of the world on land. But yeah, they absolutely the Amazon absolutely needs to be protected. If least if not just for your own self preservation, but if we lose the biodiversity there it's just another just catastrophic. The amount whatever wealth you can pull out of there is not worth destroying the entire fucking Amazon rainforest. It is on the brink of becoming irreversibly a dry desert thanks to deforestation and climate change. So you can expect to see all your favorite animals like sloths and ocelots and tapirs and tree frogs to be replaced by nothing.
Love it.
Yep. So
so
Indigenous folks fighting for it, we support that. Good on them.
Yeah.
But it's there's definitely horrifying news. So there's a thing called the nationally determined contributions, which is something that came out of the first true global treaty that was supposed to limit us to 1.5 degrees centigrade of warming. Already catastrophic, already probably blown through. And a nationally determined contribution is
it's your report card.
It's your report card of how much carbon emissions you're doing. And right now, the current ones that have been given. Now, these are just commitments, not even what are actually done, is 1/6 of the cuts needed to keep us to 1.5 degrees centigrade. So this has been just so wholly inadequate to the task at hand.
And you're also right that most countries haven't even submitted theirs.
Most of them haven't submitted. It's just 1/6 of it. So we're now on track to 2.7 degrees centigrade warming, which we're already starting to lose countries, cities, towns, catastrophic things. I mean, Jamaica just was decimated last week.
Alaska.
The Philippines was decimated a few days later with a super typhoon. The what is coming is so beyond the scope of the human imagination, apparently, because
no, I mean there's a lot of black swan events coming.
Just
there's a lot of stuff that we just have no idea.
We have no idea what's going to be.
We've had surprises before, so why would we expect the surprises to stop?
And the challenge is there's been all the right-wing populist governments coming into power, which are basically fossil fuel funded, one way or another, petrostates or Exxon, et cetera.
You get your Koch brothers.
But 89% of the world population actually recognizes that climate change is real and scary and wants to do something about it. And this is one of the defining divides in the world right now. And it really is the death grip of the fossil fuel industry, trying to bring about global fascism so they can keep squeezing some profits out while everything falls apart.
Yeah, but they have to do it for the shareholders.
It's for the shareholders.
Yeah. Do it for the shareholders.
The shareholders.
Who's thinking about? They are legally obliged to do whatever is in the best interest for their shareholders. Yeah.
There was something I saw the other day. I forget what global tragedy it was. It could have been the COVID pandemic.
It was Tuesday. Which global tragedy was it?
It could have been something, but because of the inadequacy of how it was dealt, nationally, there was so many people who became millionaires because of products they developed to help people.
Was it school shootings?
Oh my God, it is! No, it is! It is school shootings!
Yeah.
They have developed so many new products, and they make companies that create stuff to help protect kids and stuff. And they have so much money.
This is so much like the climate crisis, right?
That's what's happening.
We need to stop burning fossil fuels. No, that's impossible because it's too profitable. So we're going to try and come up with geoengineering solutions and carbon sequestration.
But even just like consumer products. Like I can imagine like, oh, we have these really fancy masks that are super stylish so you could breathe outside.
I'm not very optimistic about our odds.
Welcome to our new segment, the Canada Corner.
I always come across Canada, like Canadian news, and I'm always like,
oh, is this the fucking ostriches?
No, but it's but no, sometimes I'll bookmark it and I was like, oh, I'll ask Aaron and Hannah if what this is like. But no, this one is I was going to ask what you guys thought and how bad it is, where it says Canada loses its official measles-free status.
That's just Alberta. That's Alberta's
It's really
fault.
just Alberta.
The rest of Canada's fine. It's just Alberta.
Well, it's not fine. It's still here in Ontario and stuff.
Right.
But no, Alberta has...
That's the one that you're saying like wants to secede to America, right?
It doesn't want to. It just has a lot of people that want. Like Quebec also wants to leave as well. But yes, Alberta has a separatist movement that's very loud. It is also, surprise, surprise, supported by the fossil fuel industry. But yes,
Alberta has more cases of measles than all of America. Not like per capita.
Wow.
Like we have more measles than all of America.
There's a race going on because we are building up numbers. We are back in contention.
That's just how free Alberta is.
Alberta is so free. Freer than America right now?
Absolutely.
We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting to the measles freedom.
They technically have socialized medicine there, although the right-wing government there is not helping things. They also just violated teachers' rights to striking as well. There's a whole lot of shit out of Alberta. Alberta is just a newsmaker.
Apparently students haven't been in class for like 2 months. I didn't know that.
For real?
Yeah. No, it's
holy shit.
It's been absolutely fucked up. And yeah, there's a lot of systemic problems that they just refuse to even address and just blame Ottawa for. And it's just like, this is your purview. This is like literally the shit you are responsible for. Stop blaming the federal government for your ineptitude.
You have to take accountability for your own action.
Going to what Harold said, where he's like, what are we doing? Like, blah, blah, blah. I will say we got this comment on our last episode from humanitarianly. That's like
as in Terran, as in like someone from Earth?
So like humanitarianly. There we go. Humanitarianly. There we go. And they said, glad I found your podcast. More people that think similar to me. Thank you.
We exist. There's enough.
We're amassing. Whoa!
I don't know how that happened. I was doing this with my hands, and then it was like, that's a thumbs up.
Thank you for listening to Doom Scroll Patrol. Like, comment, and subscribe to Undeniable Network for more content and to support our work.